Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking about why this is the best time in your lifetime to buy a house or refinance. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I had to Google this. I had to wonder, when were interest rates the highest? And I Googled it. It was 1981. That's the year I graduated high school. And interest rates peaked at 16.6%, which is almost unimaginable now with the interest rates continuing to drop. To talk about that, Jason Grimes, he's with the Grimes Group, powered by Flite Financial. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, so how low are the rates now?
About as low we'll ever see in our lifetime.
They're practically giving away money. They're paying you to buy a house.
This is the cheapest money you'll ever see.
So, I remember, listening to the radio a few years ago, and they were saying, "Oh, this is about as low as it can possibly go," and then it got lower. Why are interest rates continuing to drop?
Well, it's the state of the market right now. We are. I hate using this terminology because you hear it so much now. We're in uncertain times, right? So, we're with the market being the way it is, it's allowing people that are typically not in a position to purchase homes or purchase the home they want to be able to get their dream home.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that if you don't take advantage of these rates right now, in a year or 2 or 3, you're going to be kicking yourself?
1,000%. 1,000%. Because right now, just to give you just some rough numbers, someone that maybe a year and a half ago could have purchased a home for maximum amount at $250,000. Right now they could probably get somewhere along the lines of about 300 to 320.
Wow.
Because the principal and interest payment of the home is so much lower now because the interest rates have literally been cut in half.
Yes. You have an amazing company, and we found a great clip on YouTube. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
There's a lot of LOs out there that are in this lead space that maybe don't feel supported, they don't feel like they're paid enough, or it's a top producer in a company that is they've reached their ceiling. And that's the individual that we think would see what we do, how we do it, and be like, okay, this is right up my alley. I could plug into this and have success and really put some volume in without being self-sourced.
I've worked for other companies before, and no other company has been able to offer, the environment, the tools in place to be successful.
We're big on making it easier for a loan officer to plug in and make money, and that the marketing's a big driver of that. The systems we have behind it with Philosophy, some of the custom work we've done with them to just help with the follow-up and things like that.
So really, we're just taking our loan officers and letting them focus on what's most important, and that's generating new business. Get on the phones, bring in new deals, get some new business in the door. And then we've got a team of people that are going to take that file, rush it through to closing for you, and produce more loan volume.
We just think that we've had such good luck because of our culture and our system with not losing LOs to the competition. They'll be happy here for a long time.
I know the other mortgage businesses. I've worked at 2 or 3 other ones beforehand, and just working there, I feel like they never even cared about the employee, to be honest with you. But here I feel like they give back a ton. It's just a lot more enjoyable to work for these guys, Todd and Dave, than it was anywhere else. And I just, I love working here.
That's really cool. Tell us about your business philosophy. What makes you different than others?
Well, communication. Communication is key because this is a very stressful process. I don't care how you cut it. When you're buying a home, your first home or your 10th home, it's not something that's easy. And I feel like communication and compassion, the times I've bought homes, even with me being in the business, it's always that sense of uncertainty. So you always want to make sure that you're able to give a sense of comfort and understand emotions, and and be a ally, and make sure it's not just a transaction that you're completing, but you're building a relationship. I still have some of my clients from 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that still send Christmas cards and birthday cards, and I check on their kids, and we still talk football. They still talk trash about my Bulldogs. You know what I mean? So it's basically building that relationship, and just wanting to treat someone else like you want to be treated.
Yeah, and your company won a prestigious award. We're going to put it on the screen. The Business Journals has ranked you one of the best places to work in 2020. What is that like to be with a winner like that?
Well, when it came down to aligning myself with a company that was going to be able to power me and take my ethics and my business model to where it needed to go, Top Flite was definitely at the top of the list. As we know, every company doesn't have, base themselves off of ethics. And it's a good company. They give me what I need. They make sure that if I'm taking care of my business, they're going to take care of their part of the overall process.
And mortgaging and refinancing has really been one of the bright spots in the economy. I mean, you guys are
correct.
Phones are ringing off the hook, aren't they?
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, this has been a very busy time. A lot of times in my business, you want to take off November, December, and relax with your family because you had a crazy year. Not this year.
How do you know when it's time to refinance? Like if somebody refinanced 3 years ago, is it time to start looking again, or how long ago would you have had to taken out that note?
Well, if this was years ago, there's a formula. Well, if you're at 20% equity in the property now, then it's time to go ahead and refinance. But in this instance, we have so many different ways to skin a cat on this one.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple that is refinancing right now because they're paying for their daughter's wedding.
Got it.
So they're refinancing and taking cash out in order to pay for that wedding because the money is so cheap. Instead of going to get a personal loan for quadruple of what you're paying on the interest rate right now, mortgage interest rate.
Outstanding. Well, I know people sometimes get fearful around times like this, and there's a lot of people unemployed. But your home could be your greatest asset. That's one giant ATM machine ready to dispense some cash.
That's a huge statement. I tell people all the time, your equity is your piggy bank, and sometimes if you don't use it, you lose it. Unfortunately, because if something was to go wrong in your neighborhood and multiple houses were to be short sales, foreclosed on, that $100,000 you may have had in equity may dwindle down.
Yeah.
So if you have that money, if you're able to get money this cheap right now, and you have to pay off some high interest debt, whether it be credit cards, whether it be student loan debt, things along those lines, you can really make that money work for you.
Outstanding. You've been a great guest, Jason. We're going to put your website up so everybody can get in touch. It's topflitefinancial.com/J Grimes. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, sir.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.